Hello everybody and welcome back to Banished and New Cardiff. If I can get the camera to work, there we go. Alright, happy, what is this, Thursday I suppose for everybody? I don't know, I'm a little bit frazzled. I actually just got back from a funeral, which means I haven't really had a lot of opportunities to read through the comments of the last couple of videos, but from what I have seen, it seems like people are excited to see the series continue, which is awesome. So therefore I shall continue to record it. Also, I saw a few people talking a little bit about the fact that I keep closing the Professions tab. I know. There's a reason my wife is so frustrated every time I close things down. It's not so much that it's, like, in my way, as much as I look at it, I take the information I need, and then I just instinctively close things down. But as someone suggested, try moving it out of your way over here. Alright, fine. Except I actually am going to go ahead and get rid of that version. And get the scroll down one if I can. X. There we go. Otherwise, it's going to cover up some of my buttons down here, so let's go with that. Alright, where do we leave off? We have our blacksmith, we have our tailor, unfortunately not quite enough leather, but oh well. We did build up a schoolhouse, now we are training some children. Education is very important in Banished. Basically, yes, they don't become a laborer as early at the age of 10, right? They wait until they're a bit older, but overall, they are more efficient in their tasking, so you typically want to have an educated population when you can, as soon as you can. We have some neighborhoods kind of plotted out, and we did build our first little fishing dock kind of in this area. I did see a comment saying that, just as far as kind of how the terrain is carved out here, it looks, I don't know, a little bit more like man-made reservoirs and stuff. I will say that, yeah, the lake feature in Banished is lacking a little bit, just because it's clearly just a big circular brush that's used a lot. So, yeah, I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, right here is a perfect example. But I will say it's one of the few lakes that actually left like a little island and stuff, just for a little extra feature. I mean, it could be worse. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it's not the worst. Anyways, alright, so what do we need to do right now? Well, we're actually doing pretty well on food. I would like to get a lot more logs, I'd like to get more stone, a lot more resources kind of in general. What we may want to consider doing at some point pretty soon here is opening some more area up to a new forestry lodge. Now, if I wanted to, and I might do this just to show you guys how the tool works, and some people call it cheating, but I want to show it a little bit. What we may want to do is flatten out an area here so that we could set up another forester. And again, I know that people are going to criticize it, but this is a feature in the Colonial Charter map, you know, thing. Maybe I'll use it once to kind of show it. Flattened terrain. Water and holes come up, mountains come down. So all we have to do, if I wanted to, for example, take this entire mountain right here, yes, you see this mountain right here, and flatten it, and in theory, I think, a citizen will come over here, and it should, like, automatically flatten the area. Or, we could use this if we wanted to just destroy all of the resources, right? If we don't care about any of the trees and stuff here, that's certainly something we're able to do. Let's see if our guys are able to come over here and just flatten it for us real quick. Can I prioritize this? Hang on. Let's just see if it works real quick. If not, we'll use the power tool. But that is a feature that was added in the Colonial Charter. I don't know why, presumably because some people want to have the freedom to, I don't know, let's say flatten out the edges of their lakes so they can set up some proper walls and docks and stuff and make it look better. I don't know, something kind of like that. Oh, interesting. I'm wrong. They actually clear out all of the resources in this area and then it flattens. My mistake, I kind of forgot about that. That's going to be a bit of a problem in this area on this mountain since I don't think they're able to quite, you know, climb up that thing, but in the meantime, we're going to clear out a bunch of trees that otherwise would be destroyed, so hey, it's probably okay. Let's just make do with what we got for now, hey? Alright, what else do we need? First things first, how are we doing as far as population growth? We have an 11-year-old boy having some fun with a 17-year-old girl. Alright, Ty Lord, getting it on a little early. Little bit. You want to have fairly consistent population growth in Banished. You don't want to overexpand and build a ton of houses because if you have a ton of children that cannot work and a lot of extra mouths to feed, well then very rapidly you may find yourself in a death spiral where you don't have enough resources to maintain everything. But at the same time, if you wait too long and do not expand enough housing, well, then the population will age and die, and there won't be enough children to properly take their place. So you want very consistent, methodical expansion in Banished, ideally. So I'm kind of taking a look at some of these and just sort of seeing, alright, we have another boy, 11 years old, who could use his own home. He's able to go and have some babies. Now, he is 11 years old. He's a student, but, you know, that's a thing. Got a 10-year-old girl here, Vastity. So for example, if I did want to build out one more home, then theoretically, we would be able to populate another family. So let's go ahead and build that thing out. I have a couple builders ready to go. And hopefully I don't actually close this thing down this time. Go ahead, guys, clear out all those resources. It'll be great. Just do it. Give me all them trees. We're a little bit low on logs. Yes, I am aware of this fact. It actually would not be a bad idea to place a stockpile right next to this, so that very rapidly people could drop this off. And later we can destroy the stockpile, but I'm just trying to save a lot of walking time. So let's go ahead and place another stockpile. Let's just say right here, right on the edge. Badoop. And I want to prioritize the construction of this stockpile above everything else. All I have to do is just clear down the resources. If you can clear this stuff away, I'll save you a lot of walking. I know, you were trying to get your Fitbit steps in today. I understand the frustration. There we go, now you have a stockpile, so they can quickly gather this stuff up. Good, very good. So let's just let them kind of clear out this little area, and then I'll just show you the flatten tool. A lot of people use it, a lot of YouTubers use it. This is the only time I'm going to use it, because I actually find in Banished, as frustrating as this start is, I kind of would like to, you know, work within the confines of the proper map. I don't like changing the terrain all willy-nilly. I think it's kind of cheap, so we'll do it once, but that'll be it. So let's go to the flatten tool like so, and we'll flatten the world out like this. And there we go. The world is flat. Of course, it destroyed all the resources, and the texturing of the mountain remains, which is a little bit confusing for everyone involved, but it's there, you know, it's fine. We got a little ridge here, a little cliff. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's there. Either way, so that's a cool little feature. If you ever need that in Colonial Charter, you're finding you just need more space, then you can do this. Now, what I'm going to do to try and repopulate this area is I actually am going to go ahead and place down another Forester's Lodge. We're going to go ahead and try to expand by the same sort of method we did over here. More Forester's Lodge, more gathering huts and stuff. Let's plant a bunch of happy little trees. Place you, let's say right about here, I think. We'll do fine. I will want to place... Well, we'll need to have a barn and stuff. Let's first place some roads so I can see where we're working. Doop-a-doop. Doop-a-doop. Right there. Okay. There you are. Cool. So let's place a barn, just like we did before. And what I would typically do in vanilla Banished is I actually would build like 3 or 4 of these Forester's outposts wherever the space allows. And that typically provides a very consistent source of wood, of food, and so on to kind of keep any basic vanilla colony running for a very long time, which is kind of nice. We're not going to do that here. We're probably going to build like 1 or 2, and then we're going to move on to some new features in the Colonial Charter. But for now, let's get that stuff going. So, we wanted a barn, we said. Okay, let's get a small barn. I'll rotate you, place you right about there. Thank you. We'll also want to get a stockpile in this general area, so... let's just go ahead and place you kind of like so. A 5x5 will do just fine. Now, let's pin this thing so I can see where it's going to go. We don't need this Forester's Lodge anymore. So in this ring is where we're going to plant a bunch of trees to make up for the ones I just blew up. By the way, did we get rid of all the resources? Ooh! Did we? That is something I did not know. I knew that if you use the power flatten tool, it was going to destroy the trees and the rocks and stuff in that area. What I did not know is that anything on the ground also gets destroyed. So I actually just destroyed a lot of resources. Well, that's unfortunate, but I've never tried doing that before. Like I said, I don't really use this tool, so my mistake, but alright. So we're going to plant these trees. We will want to place a hunting lodge, again, not only to get food, but also to get that very valuable leather. So we'll place you somewhere kind of like, I don't know, let's just say right over here? Sure, we'll say right there. We'll place another gatherer's hut right over here. And eventually something we are going to want to do, maybe not this second, but we're going to want to place an herbalist. So let's see if I can find you somewhere in here. Is it under medicine? Health and healing. There you are, herbalist. This is a building that gathers up plants, herbs, and stuff and makes basic medicines before you have a hospital. And now a herbalist, I believe, typically requires an old forest, right? Old trees. That's where you're going to get your herbs growing. I've heard many reports that herbs do not grow in new forestry areas. So it will be a long time before that herbalist is actually useful to me, and I'm going to go ahead and pause it. But that's what we will end up doing. The gatherer's hut will pause, the hunting cabin will pause, We'll build the barn, but we'll build the Forester's Lodge, and that's about it for now. Let's get those things built, just so we can start planting the trees and then move on to more useful things. Okay, how are we looking here? Pretty good still on food. Need a bit more logs, need a bit more stone and stuff, but we're still clearing things out. We'll be okay. We're doing alright on population. We have 4 laborers to spare. We still have our blacksmith and everyone else working. Right now, we are capped out on tools. 20 tool limit, that's fine. Still making some clothes, but it looks like we actually have some leather to work with. So the tailor actually has a job. Did we have our children move in here? What the? Why did Paul move in here with a child? Now, they're not married, but he's got a 4-year-old child. Did your wife die or something and you had to take custody of your kid? I mean, was there a divorce? Was it messy? Is there drama? Do I need to be aware of something? I don't know. This is not quite what I expected to happen there. Huh. What? Luliette? Did Paul and Luliette divorce? I have no idea why they have their own separate house. That's not supposed to happen. That's actually very space inefficient for me. I'm not feeling especially happy about that. Let's go ahead and unpause a different building, since apparently this house is worthless and will not contribute to population growth. Very concerning. Alright, we're still doing really well on food, but one thing we could certainly do, if we want to, is open up the dock fishery, which right now it says only one person can work. We can place as many of these dock fisheries as we need to in the area, though. We can just expand out the quay, the wharf. Again, why it's pronounced quay, I still don't fully get, but it is. And one thing we can do, though, wharfs are actually really cool in Colonial Charter mod pack, but one thing we could do, if we wanted to, go to the themed set, go to the docks and buildings, and we could be placing, like, houses and stuff up against the dock, kind of like this. There, and he has a home right next to his dock. We can also place a barn and all sorts of other stuff, a small market. You can build entire cities out on lakes, and that actually might be something kind of fun to do. You know, as we're expanding, as we're getting into more features, clay, bricks, and stuff like that. Also, just kind of build a little lake town over here. I mean, if that's something you guys are interested in, then I'm certainly not opposed to it. It's an option. We'll say we want to have something like that, and maybe I want to pause it for now. Yeah, we just leave it there for now. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's see. An herb mender, a place that dispenses herbs to the people to give them better health, which is not the same as a herb grower who just grows their own medicinal herbs. Now, I've never actually messed with these, but the implication here is that we actually don't need a herbalist gathering herbs. We can just grow our own here, like a little farm, which is actually pretty cool. That's not a bad way of getting some extra herbs without having to worry about the whole old forest mechanic. Now, we don't need any. Our health is doing very well for our citizens, but that's certainly an option. Cool. Small school, a water shrine, a place of worship for small communities. A dock trading post and stuff like that, a dock market. Pretty cool across the board. And then there's our storage stuff. We've got our stockpiles. We've got a rice wine still. Distills rice into wine. Sake, I love it. Dock workshop, dock scavenger for clams and stuff, more fisheries. A chicken breeder? Right, if we had chickens. I mean, it's like a little pasture. A reed farm, if we wanted to get reeds to make basic clothing and fuel. Rice planter. Grows and harvests rice. Now, this requires actual rice to grow, which is interesting because we started with rice. Now, I'm guessing they've all eaten the rice, which is unfortunate. Yeah, it's looking like our citizens may have eaten all of the rice. Had I noticed that, we actually probably could have set up some rice planters early on and had a whole new farming food source even though we didn't start with any seeds. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Collects wood logs or firewood from the river, a driftwood scavenger. Keys are awesome. There's so many cool things you can do with them. And then you can be placing in these like dock fences and stuff and trying to make it all look good. Rails and stuff like that, and you got your, let's see, wall connectors for if you want to have like a stone walls around your quay, like build a proper like medieval wharf. I mean, there's so many cool things. It's awesome. Who doesn't like this? I don't know. Keys are one of the best features of Colonial Charter, in my personal opinion. I may not have messed with every single one of the features, but it is pretty cool. How are we doing as far as storage here right now? We got some hide coats, we got some rough tools, we got some herbs. Now, of course, as people are making their tools and stuff, our tailor, our blacksmith, they will automatically deliver resources to whatever storage is closest. So right now, this small barn, I would imagine, is not going to be replenishing its rough tools and stuff like that. If people ever want to get coats, tools, and so on, they'll have to walk all the way into town and get some to this barn. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, this is one of the reasons that a lot of people use the market mechanics, because what markets will do, we haven't built it yet because we don't have the materials, but what they'll end up doing is you'll assign some people who will be vendors, there we go. They'll wander around to the different barns and start emptying them out and bring resources to a central location, so that people can quickly gather whatever resources they need from the market and then use it for their different businesses. So for example, if all the iron and stuff is stored nearby in the market, the blacksmith doesn't have to walk all the way to the stockpiles, he just has to walk to the market. Same with the people. They can just walk over to the market, they can get some food, and then leave. That's one of the reasons I try to keep my stockpiles and my barns relatively in the radius of the market so that our vendors are able to do their jobs. Alright, well, we're building up our barns, we're building up our foresters' lodges and stuff like that, good stuff. We'll assign somebody to plant trees, and then we'll just kind of leave him for a while, and then eventually this area will become profitable for me. It's gonna be a while, but eventually, in theory, it'll work. We haven't had any new laborers in a while, I'll admit. That makes me kind of sad. Why are people divorcing and bringing their children? This is now another time this has happened. Sons are... I mean, unless there's a bug. Is there a bug and they're marrying one-year-olds? Okay, if these children ever have their own children, I'm just saying, if babies start making babies, I'm gonna get real scared. And I'm gonna say there's a problem. A pretty big problem. And now we have women alone. They're not gonna produce children this way. Uh-oh. That's not good. Guys, that's not a good thing. Well, if that's a bug, that's kind of a game-crippling bug, and I'm a little bit scared about that. Whoa. We have a different model for this Forester's Lodge. Huh. I mean, I know that things will cycle through different models and stuff. I just didn't realize in this latest patch that they added in new textures to the Forester's Lodge. Well, maybe they did that. Maybe they did that in a different patch. I have no idea. I haven't kept track of every single version of Colonial Charter. I've missed the last couple of major updates, but still. So yeah, I'm kind of scared about upgrading even more wooden houses because you never know. Does this mean that now we're splitting up families, no new babies, we have serious population problems on the horizon? Maybe. One thing we could try to do is build a boarding house which provides a temporary place for the homeless to live, but right now that doesn't seem to be the issue. Nobody's homeless. Well, this is a big puzzle now, ain't it? Yes, it is. Huh. I am verily, verily concerned about this. Let's go ahead and let the dock shanty do its thing. We will place... go to the key. We'll place a little barn next to it. Small storage barn will do fine. Place you, let's say, right here. And if you want to expand the key out a little bit, the little wharf kind of move further along, you can do things like that. Put some more fishing docks in this general area and stuff. Sure, why not? I still don't really like how these people just randomly, like, clip into the water like that. Look at that. Woof! I mean, it's funny to look at, but it's also dumb. Like, seriously dumb. Starting to run out a little bit of food here. I do generally like to have at least 100 food per adult, just kind of as a reserve. But that's not always an option. Alright, anyone moving into the dock shanty? Doesn't appear so. Dock house is an upgrade for this. Looks like we would need some rope and more logs. Living space for up to 5 people. Now, I don't think that there's any incentive for anyone to live here, because first off, no one seems to need to move out. But also, we don't have anyone working here. So they want to assign themselves automatically to this nearby house. What we could do then... is this considered to be a fisher or a dock worker? It's probably a fisher. Yeah, fisherman. Let's go ahead and assign one. There we go. And I think someone will probably end up getting automatically assigned here, or at least that's what I would have expected. There we go. Chauncey, Pretany, and Brett. We've got a bug here, guys. We definitely have a bug. These are all men. I suspect some of it has to do with the fact that people are students, but that's not supposed to happen. It wasn't doing this before. This is a problem with our school. Our school is breaking something. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. But people are leaving, taking their children. No, it's not just the students. They're just leaving and taking children in general. That does not make any sense at all. But we're breaking up every single home. We're not going to have any population growth from this. Uh-oh. This is the first time I've ever seen this issue. And clearly, I need to do a bit of digging. And find out what's going on. Well, with this forester's hut, I'm going to have one person working here who's only going to plant trees. Let's go ahead and assign another forester. At least that seems to be working just fine. And yes, indeed, they are going around and planting little saplings. Eventually, these will grow up into something nice. Okay, well, that's good at least, but still. This is verily concerning to me. Verily am I concerned by this. Well, I'd be all ears in the comment section if anyone has any ideas what I can be doing to fix this. Obviously, I would really rather not have to worry about restarting this game. And with a new colony, I mean, if that happens, it happens, I suppose. And it won't take me long to kind of get where we are now. We'll just be in a new terrain seed, but... yeah, Never seen that before. But that is a pretty obvious problem. Oh well, we at least have the barn done. We're automatically dropping some fish off and stuff. Now people will be gathering this stuff up to get some food and so on. But we have fish. Where is it going? Who's taking the fish out? It's probably going to these houses, right? No. This person's taking some fish. This person needs more food, so they're going to the nearest food source stored, which is in here, because there's no food in the nearby barn. Well, no, there is. There's venison. Although that may have just gotten delivered. I don't know. Some pathing stuff seems to be getting freaked out, but I'm getting completely confuzzled by the fact that everyone's splitting up and getting divorced and taking children of the same gender into different This is weird, man. This is freaking weird. And I don't think I like it very much at all. Alright, well. On that note, I need to end this video because we're out of time, but, yeah. Thoughts here, guys, in the comment section? I don't think I can do Friday's video until I can get this figured out. Cool. Let me know what you guys think. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment with your ideas, and subscribe if you have not already, and I guess we'll figure out the future of New Cardiff in the next video. See y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.